I was literally like starting to see red, where I was like, like on the day of my cat's birthday, like you bring home this lady and then you leave the door open to the roof.
4 and 3 and 2 and 1.
Welcome back to Girls Rewatch Podcast.
A podcast about girls
TV and girls on TV.
I am Amelia Ritale.
And I am Evan Lazarus.
And is my shirt too 4D? You guys, sometimes you get a newly top delivered and the sleeves are so big that you're like, I have to wear this.
You have to. It looks gorgeous on you.
Thank you. I like your sweater today too.
Yeah, I got this sweater after I got rejected from BU. My parents had to calm me down by taking me to the Vineyard Vine sample sale and
They bought you a Vineyard Vine sweater after not getting into Boston University.
Yeah.
You would have hated it there.
I would, in retrospect, I would have hated it there, but it was my first choice ED.
Today we are covering season 1, episode 8, Destination Wedding. Okay, Broad City, this is such an epic episode.
Before we even get into that, I have to talk about Susie Wiles, who is Trump's new chief of staff, who is also his campaign manager. There isn't a lot known about her, except Trump's only descriptor of her is that she is, quote, an ice maiden, which in my mind does mean sapphic that's a sapphic term you would call someone. So now that
an ice maiden, that's do you remember A from Pretty Little Liars? And how she actually played George Lopez's daughter in Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and she was an ice maiden.
Yeah, she was. Which was sapphic.
She and the redhead were gonna be lesbians one day. We just didn't know it yet.
In my head, that's a sapphic term, and if we have a lesbian in the White House, it does mean that shit is actually gonna get done for Trump in a really scary and horrifying way. Because there's one thing I know in this nation, it's like you have the right lesbian behind you, you can do anything you want.
Wait, so she's an ice maiden, and I just want to be sure that I'm understanding that she's
not actually a lesbian.
She's an ice maiden. This is what I'm asking.
Yes.
Is she heiress to an ice company?
No,
it's
like
sculptures?
Her personality. Like she just is like an ice princess almost, but she's too old to be a princess, but she doesn't have enough power to be the queen. So she's an ice maiden.
Oh my God. Here I was thinking that was like her family owns ice.
No.
Like,
oh my God. And that's a really good way to look at it, of course.
like a sculpture of ice. Like you,
right.
like maybe
she's
there's big
frozen.
ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, she owns big ice. She's gonna
I don't know. I do find that terror. I mean, we don't have to. Obviously, this isn't going to be the platform.
I love that we started
Trump.
the podcast and immediately you're like, let's make it a political episode.
Well, I've been really thinking about the Ice Maiden of sorts because really, she was really behind Trump and so much of the campaign. Like, it's his first campaign manager. He didn't fire. She really was so good at keeping herself out of the public eye. So we don't actually know so much about her, but all we know is she does have a really strong hand and is helping.
Have they called the House of Representatives yet?
Not at the release of this pod yet.
Not at the recording?
No, not at the recording.
I'm really scared.
Yeah, okay, let's get into the summary episode.
Okay. Season 1, episode 8, Destination Wedding.
Abbi, Ilana, Abbi's date Will, Lincoln, and 2 old work friends, Morgan, who's a quirked up blonde girl who's low-key in love with her brother, and Kevin, who's an older guy quirked up on poppers and Adderall, are all rushing to make it to their friend Darcy's wedding in Connecticut. Chaos kicks off right from the start. After sprinting to Grand Central, they realize their tickets are for Penn Station. Abbi's date Will bails on her because he doesn't do Penn Station. Left scrambling, they try to catch a cab, which crashes, so they miss their train. With no other options, they rent the last vehicle available, a clunky moving truck. But the truck gets a flat tire and Lincoln has to stay back, while the rest hop on city bikes. Disaster strikes once again when Kevin gets doored and flies off his bike, leaving Abbi, Ilana, and Morgan biking on. Waiting for a bus, Morgan casually reveals that Abbi once made out with Darcy, the bride, and Ilana loses it, hyperventilating with hurt and jealousy. They finally board a disturbingly grimy bus. The tension boils over between Abbi and Ilana. Then a bucket of raw fish splashes down on Abbi and Morgan, so they ditch the bus, with Morgan complaining that the trifecta of friends is ruined. Abbi snaps back that it's me and Ilana in a duo now, and Morgan storms off to go hook up with her brother, LOL. Abbi and Ilana decide to give up on the wedding entirely, and later we learn that none of the 300 guests actually show up to Darcy's wedding, poor thing. And then Abbi and Ilana wrap up the night in their tuxes at a gentleman's club.
And that's what you missed on Glee.
I want to go to Vineyard Vines.
You deserve.
I used to
want to go to Vineyard Vines.
I used to have an amazing long sleeve T-shirt from Vineyard Vines.
Everyone did. It was the whole part of high school.
I got it on a church retreat in Alabama.
Yeah, of course you did.
Where every time you went in the ocean, it was extremely painful because jellyfish larvae were everywhere. So larvae was stinging our bodies.
Doesn't it feel like a bite?
For God, it hurt.
Well, in which way does it hurt?
It stings.
It stings.
It feels like a million billion stings. Death by 1,000 cuts is what it feels like, Taylor Swift.
The one time I got stung by a jellyfish, and every time I go surfing, I do have a terrible accident, but yet I'm willing to go back on the board. My second time ever going surfing, I was at Venice Beach in LA, and I was on the board. as I fall off the board, a jellyfish comes out of the water, stings me. If I thought I got bit by a shark, and I go up to my camp counselor, I go, I bit by a shark. He goes, actually, you're not bleeding. That was just a jellyfish.
You went to camp in Venice Beach?
Just for 3 days.
I didn't know that about you.
It's part of a longer and more complicated story.
You're like, I've never been to LA. Well, I think our guest is arriving. Yeah, so do you want to get into it or?
No, it's okay. We don't have to get into it. I just had to sit out and watch all my friends surf for the whole day, and it was truly devastating for me.
I would be so sad if all my friends were surfing and I wasn't.
Well, and this was the same camp counselor, and every single day he'd be like, I'm not high, but he would say it was the reddest, brightest eyes you've ever seen in your whole life.
Well, maybe his eyes were just like that.
And that's what he would say. That's what he would say. But it's like, girl, that's not a symptom of anything else.
It could be. I used to DVR mystery diagnosis.
He was a white guy with dreadlocks.
Oh, God. Like Thorgy Thor?
Whoever that could be.
A drag queen.
Oh.
Who I think is always lying on Twitter. Bob the drag queen is always like sending love and light, but man, does Thorgy lie. Anyways, cross dissolve. It's Mina Lay.
Oh my God. And we got it right the first time, of course.
No, and we did. I will say, I've been watching your YouTube videos for literally years.
You're crazy.
You're like, you're always on my explore page.
Oh my God. Oh, thank you, Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh
who owns YouTube?
Wait, Google.
Who does?
Google owns YouTube. And whoever could be running that engine, it's like, thank you to them.
Wait, the way I don't even know who like the Google CEO is.
We know so much about the guy that owns Facebook, but never anybody else.
Well, it's a woman, and that's all I know. And that's enough of a story, by the way.
And that's why no one knows her.
That's so funny. Wait, how long have you been posting on YouTube for?
Since 2020.
Oh, what a beautiful year to
gosh.
start.
I know. Well, it was like I started kind of because I was unemployed. So I was like, let me just like do something else while I wait for my stimulus checks to come in.
Of course.
And I didn't really expect it to be like an actual career, but then it became one. And
I love
now
every
I work
story.
for myself. Yeah. I play this self-employment tax.
That is so complicated. It's like I would love to fill that out, but I can't. There's not a way to.
So I commit tax evasion,
Yeah.
is what you're telling me.
Well, legally you have to sometimes. We're so excited to have you on the couch today. Tell us, what is your deal with Broad City?
Ooh.
Oh, I honestly I can't even remember why I started watching it. I think I started watching it in 2019 when I first moved to New York, and I think it was still airing at that point, like the last season.
Yeah.
So it was just like in the culture, like people were talking about it on social media. I had like friends talking about it, and I heard that it took place in New York City. And because I just landed, I was like, let me get in the mindset. Let me romanticize, even though it's like the most unromantic show about New York City ever. I was like, I should have started with Sex and the City, but I started with Broad City. And I just I binged as much as I could. I watched it with my boyfriend. I got locked down first week that I came here.
Oh my God.
Which is really insane for myself.
Crazy.
Oh my God.
But I was like, let's watch this together. And he hates binging TV. He's very old school, next week drop type of attitude. And I was like,
oh my God.
the episodes are 20 minutes long. Please let me watch. But we didn't make it to the end.
That's so funny.
No, I love the idea of watching it one at a time because we need people too for our pod.
Yeah, absolutely.
Abby's I finished my rewatch already. I'm like, hey, well, we're on episode 6.
So time to rewatch again.
Let's rewatch it again.
Wait, what brought you to New York?
Yeah.
I had the dream of being a fashion girly. Right after I
Gorgeous.
graduated college, I was like, I'm gonna work in PR or work at Chanel. I literally didn't even know. I was like, I got to get in there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I never did. But the point is, I came here with a dream.
Oh my God, it's so fun. Okay, so you moved here with a dream classic, and then you started watching Broad City, and then you got a boyfriend a weekend.
I got a boyfriend a weekend, and then I started watching
Wait, so
Broad
how
City.
did you
Evan has
meet?
a famous theory on this where it's a girl's first date in the city. It's
It was my first date in the city.
Yeah.
she locks in and they stay together
The
for
likelihood
years.
of you dating that person is significantly high, and I think it's because
Wow.
you get so excited about living in New York City, and you extrapolate some of those feelings with actually the date itself. So you're so excited to be going on these dates. It's like when you walk across a bridge. You know when like the theory is if you walk across this rickety bridge with someone on a date and all the like hormones that are released during it, like you always have a better time on that date because the fear is like replaced with dopamine. So people that like do scary things, like watch a scary movie on a first date, always report having a better date.
So you're saying we should like add some more rickety bridges into New York
Absolutely.
to like improve the dating scene?
I mean, we already have like 4 to 8 of them. Oh God, have you crossed Williamsburg Bridge lately? That thing is so scary.
No, I'm scared, but I heard that like from my friend who's big into biking, and he said that like sometimes like people will like put like wire or something to like basically kill bikers.
Oh my God.
Well, I don't know like how often
it's not
that
to actually
happens.
kill, but it's like to rob them. So they trip over the wire, so they go flying off their bikes, so then they can rob them and like or hurt them.
If I fell off a bike and then immediately got robbed, I'd be so upset.
And that's actually a great first date idea, I think.
Well, if you were city biking together,
Right,
the
exactly.
dopamine release if you fly off the
Imagine.
handlebars, y'all are gonna last forever.
The trauma bond of getting robbed.
Yeah.
You're gonna plan it on a date. I think it would connect you. Well, that's beautiful.
That's crazy.
Love is not dead.
Well, I'm like, I think the best first dates I've ever been on in New York City was for a comedy show. Like we went on a date at Union Hall in front of 120 people, and it's like I'm having such a good time. We tried going on a second date, awful, no connection at all. Now I see him in public, which is of course once every 2 weeks. We can barely talk to one another, and it's only because it was so electric on stage, because there was like the dopamine of all the people like looking at you while you're trying to go on a date with someone while also being comedic for an audience at the same time.
Is this the fedora guy?
Wait, you went on a date in front of a live studio audience?
I've done it 3 times.
Oh yeah, you have done that a lot. Evan's always like, I got booked on a dating show again, and it's like,
They
okay.
never result in anything. But by the way, the funniest I ever am is on a live dating show. I don't know what it is. It's my strongest place.
You should stop trying to do stand up and start being like, somebody book me on your dating show.
No, I actually have a comedy show, and you guys should do it as well. I want to do a show where I have to go on a date with someone every month in front of a live studio audience, just so I date someone.
But what if you like find love? Like, would you stop the series?
No,
You have
I just can't find love.
You have to.
Every
Well, maybe
month,
you
your
haven't tried
partner's
getting
like,
robbed yet.
Oh my God.
That's so funny.
Okay, well, we need to get into the episode, but before that, we have to ask you,
Girl, what girl are you?
Oh my God, I was dreading this question.
Oh, really?
Okay, because I feel like I watched Broad City not because I like connected with any of the characters, but because like they were all so insane that it was just funny to
Right.
watch. But I think if I had to choose, it would be Abby.
Yeah.
Just because like I feel like I'm kind of neurotic, and like Ilana, though she's like super cool and everything, I just like I have too much of a prefrontal cortex to like be her.
That's so funny.
To have too much of a prefrontal cortex.
You're too much over the age of 25. Yay.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
she's
beautiful.
24
Well,
in the
She's 22 in the first episode.
Oh, in the first
Season.
episode?
Yeah,
Alana,
yeah.
and then Abby's 25,
Yeah.
right?
So that's why it's actually responsible of you to be an
Yeah.
Abby.
Oh my God, yeah, because the last season she turns 30, right? When they like go from the top to the bottom of Manhattan. Isn't it for her birthday?
Yeah, but I never found a number.
Okay.
Well, I
Yeah.
just remember I did the assignment, which was to watch this episode, and they do try to get the car, and she's like not 25 yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
Exactly.
Which is so real. I watched the episode this morning and I kept being so cheesy, just being like, this does happen in New York. Like everything, I'm like, yeah, and people do hate Penn Station.
I don't know. Okay, I don't actually go to Penn Station like ever, which maybe
Really?
is like
Yeah.
there's a reason for that. But I never like felt like a certain like anxiety about Penn Station. It just like
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
Well,
because
you've never been there.
Just like how I've never been to North Brother
Yeah.
Island, I guess.
Well, the thing about Penn Station, it's better now because they just opened like the new Mana Hand Tail station, however you pronounce the
Who's
series
the
of words.
Mana
What?
Tail?
Oh, Moynihan.
Moynihan.
What's Moynihan?
It's like the new station. It's a better Penn Station.
It's like the Amtrak station
yes,
part of Penn
thank
Station.
you so much. And now
Oh.
it's the Amtrak part. It's a lot nicer. You can take like some subway lines from there as well.
They have like a Magnolia Bakery.
They have Magnolia Bakery there.
Yeah.
They have
my
so many
God.
fast casual restaurants, but none of them you've ever heard of before, except they
That's
have one
fine.
kava.
I'd go to Kava if I was there.
Wait, what was the point I was gonna make? Well, it doesn't
Penn
matter.
Station
It's just like
being-
really awful. Oh, you know what's awful? The worst part about Penn Station though is gonna go ahead and be. What's the bus place called? Oh, where did the buses leave from?
You're from New York.
I know, but I've gone
Wait,
there
what do you mean where the buses leave from?
in Penn Station where the buses are.
Crickets.
Oh my god. Wait,
New York
I
card
was like,
removed.
can you take this one? Because I can't. I have to tap
Wait,
out.
I
wait,
can
wait.
probably count on my hands how many times I've taken the bus.
No, well, it's a scary place. It's the only way you can get to New Jersey from New York City. So of course, when you take the bus.
Port Authority.
Port Authority.
When you said
Oh.
scary bus, New Jersey, I was like, flashback of me trying to navigate Port Authority.
It's horrifying because the thing is, the track number is different than the bus number, which is like
Yes.
different than the time of day. Like, they
And then
don't
there's
believe
like
in
two
like,
entrances
I know.
of like each little like terminal gate thing. And they have no boards anywhere. Like
they
you
don't
just
have
have
any
to
boards.
know.
You have to ask policemen questions there, and they're like, "By the way,
Yeah.
we don't actually have information for you."
Well, this is the craziest part about taking a bus is that you just have to know. And it's like, well, that's the one thing I wouldn't know about. Like,
I've cried in Port Authority 3 times.
Oh my
I'm not. I'm
gosh.
like, I don't cry any. I'm actually not a big crier, but bring me to Port Authority, I break down every single time.
It does something to you, the air in there.
Yeah, it's so well. It's because
Sorry.
it's the lighting is also horrific in there.
And
Wait.
also like if you miss the bus. Okay, actually,
Yes.
my Port Authority story is like the first time I ever tried to navigate it was also to get to the Eras concert in
Exactly.
in like the Met Stadium or whatever.
yeah.
And like there was like obviously like a time limit. I was like, I cannot wait for like the next bus to come. Anyway, I ended up going late. I like missed like the entire Phoebe Bridgers like opening.
No.
But I didn't pay for the tickets because my friend got them for free. So
Oh my
Oh my god. Well,
gosh.
that's actually, by the way, the same route I took to cry. Because I had to go to Jet Station as well for like one of my company's marketing retreats was there
At
the-
Met?
at the Jet Stadium, if you can even imagine.
Wait, what is the stadium called? The Jet?
No, it's not. It's called
the
is it called MetLife?
like the Moynihan
No,
yeah MetLife.
It's called
Yes,
MetLife.
yes, yes.
Oh, yes, it's called MetLife. So it's not the Met. It's a MetLife Stadium. I took the same route. I cried there because I was like, I'm gonna be late for my company retreat. I haven't met anyone in person because I've been working remote for 2.5 years now. And I get there and like, there's no way 15 minutes will mean a difference. I'm the last person. The CMO of the whole company is like watching me as I cross across the aisle in front of 300 people.
And that's why you
sorry,
were laid
yeah.
off. And that's
Yeah.
what happened. And that was
They
straight
wrote that
through.
down on your record. Can't navigate bus.
Girl, what girl are you this episode?
Oh my god, I have to be that gay guy just for like aspirational reasons,
The
even if
old
I'm
one?
not.
Wait, the ones he's
Yeah.
like
Oh,
taking
Kevin?
poppers.
Which is like, that's not the way you do poppers. So if you took poppers the way he would, you would dissolve your brain. He's truly like sniffing the actual liquid into his nose if you watch it. It's one of those dispensers where you like,
I've never
press it like
seen.
Flonase.
I know. I've never seen poppers be in that kind of nasal next
I know.
bottle.
It's so interesting.
It probably wasn't real poppers.
No.
Yeah, that's an amazing point. Wait a second. I loved it. He was like, "Oh, I don't have adult braces. These are teeth scaffolding." And like, go there, say that.
That's so funny. I really did connect with him because I love his manic energy. There's something about it, like the teeth scaffolding. When there's a whole situation where it's like, we are the trifecta. It's like, I thought we were a quad. It's like, yeah, of course I'm gonna connect with this guy. The gay guy always felt left out.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful story. Girl, what girl are you?
I'm absolutely Morgan, Abby's friend that's
Not-
clinging so
not-
hard to the past. Not in the way that she's fucking her brother fully. But in
I was like, should I leave?
I don't connect with her in that way, but I do connect with her and like, remember this crazy time? And everybody's like, we've all moved on, Amelia. And I'm like, but it was so cool to be 22. Yeah, and her eventually leaving. I mean, it is crazy that they actually showed her in the bathtub with her brother.
That was really eye-opening. I actually like forgot about that scene. Like I remembered like this episode,
Yeah.
but like I tried to like, I guess
I blocked it out
eradicate
because
that.
I was shocked when that appeared on the screen. And in my head, I like, before I watched this episode, I was like, I have it all memorized. And then I was like, Morgan, what?
And then you were like, that's still me though.
Yeah.
I'm
And then
still
I was
gonna
like,
answer
I
her.
see myself on screen.
Well, she loves bubble baths. Is her big thing.
Mm.
Yeah, can't get enough.
What the hell? Let's cut to our first break, and when we get back, we'll get into the broad and butter. And we're We're back. Oh my God, what an incredible break.
It felt amazing. They stretched a little.
There's so much fear in your eyes.
I know. Mine too, by the way.
No, let's get into it. Destination wedding. Have y'all been to a destination wedding from New York ever?
From New
Wait,
York?
like flying out of New York or like what do you mean?
Then
Leaving
like
from
I've
New
got to
York,
get
too.
to Connecticut.
I had one in Long Island.
Okay,
Yeah, that
yeah,
counts, that
that
counts.
really counts.
That's
but
a
we rented a
Penn Station,
car.
Too. Oh, you
so
did?
you
So,
kind of
like,
ran
we-
into none of the issues.
Well, they did run into issues renting a car, but I didn't rent the car, so I didn't have to deal with the.
Was it turbo?
I didn't do it.
Sorry.
I can't
I
drive.
that question, I have to suck the air out of the room so quickly. I'll never bring up turbo again. You're so right.
Was it turbo?
It was like boom. It was like that line, like this is a duo now.
The trifecta's over, Evan. So you drove to Long Island? I want to get invited to a wedding so bad. The last wedding I went to was my dad's second marriage when I was 3.
Oh no.
We'll get you invited to a wedding. On God.
Please,
Oh, God.
please.
No, it really just starting for me because I'm like in my
Yeah.
late 20s now, and I feel like that's kind of like when people start getting like if you have like older friends in their 30s.
Yeah.
Well, you're kind of wearing a wedding dress today, thank God.
Oh my God, thank God. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
our wedding.
This
You're
is-
invited.
Dinner show.
I got invited to a wedding. Oh my God.
In New York.
Wait.
Well, they don't do weddings in New York anymore.
Well,
If you-
this is what everybody's been saying is that it's too
Mm.
expensive here.
Oh, okay.
So every wedding has to be a destination wedding. Because if you do a wedding in New York, even like at a restaurant, it's almost 4 times more than just doing it like in upstate New York. That's like,
That's
it's really the
crazy.
price difference. It's just like, it's gone bananas. Sorry.
It's gone bananas.
I was like-
Well, my friend went to like a wedding in Scotland and said that like her friends who like got married there, they like that was like the cheapest wedding that
cheapest.
they had like gone to just like from asking people for their wedding prices, and it was international.
It is.
Scotland's really hard to get to. I went there this
Did you take
summer.
a car there?
They took the bus from Port Authority.
It's so
Port
funny.
Authority. I had to say before I moved to New York, I went to college in Toronto, and I was like, I'm gonna go like on a solo trip to New York, see the Big Apple, and I took an overnight bus from Toronto to New York, and it was exactly like the bus in this episode, where it was the scariest cast of characters.
I know.
And I was truly 19 years old with like, and I was living a zero waste lifestyle. So I had a backpack and like a mason jar and like utensils and like plastic straws. And I like tried to sleep on the bus. And then I just like, I got here finally after it being delayed 4 hours and took a nap in Central Park. And I was like, this is what New York is like. And then I saw the matinee of Kinky Boots Alone.
And then you still decided to move.
And then I was like, I can't wait to move here one day. But rewatching this episode, I was like, I am so glad being on buses like that is not a part of my story anymore.
I know. Would you ever take the Van Moose to the DC metro area?
I did. I used to. I don't really go back home as often anymore,
Yeah.
though my high school reunions the day before Thanksgiving.
It always
Oh
is.
my God.
I know. I'm
Wait.
like, why?
That's already
Because
happening?
everyone's home. I know. It makes no sense. God forbid.
Wait, sorry, what?
Your high school reunion's already happening?
My 10-year. I'm
Five
old.
year.
I'm old.
That's
Yeah, my 5 year. My 1 year.
Every time we just hang out after, you know.
I'm actually
It's
still in
an
high school. It's just
improv
my.
thing, yeah.
It's just a party.
It's actually prom.
She took the Vamoose here.
Wait, okay. Do you still talk to anybody from high school? Not really.
Well, let her answer. Let her answer.
Projection. I actually I don't really talk to many people from high school anymore. I'm not like anti, but like I don't know. It's just
Things
you
change.
get older, you move.
Well, it's like to be beautiful and cool. It's like, well, who the hell are you gonna talk to still?
I was definitely not beautiful or cool in high school too.
Yeah.
And I think that like I'm like I just can't like people know me for a different thing there.
Right.
Yeah.
And like they just wouldn't understand me now.
Yeah.
I kind of understand. It's obviously not. I'm from a similar town from Bethesda, like high Jewish, wealthy town, where it's like not a single person does anything creative after graduation. If they do, they're not doing it in the city that you choose to live in. Because all the other gay
Yeah.
people from my high school, except for one other, they moved to a different city other than New York, even though we're all from New York.
That's crazy.
Isn't that so
I
interesting?
would think that like if you grew up in like the New York area, you would just stay because
You
it's
would.
just like such a cool city.
90,
Yeah.
I would say 85% of my graduating class stayed in the New York area. Except all the gay people were so traumatized by the New York gay experience in Westchester that they all had to move to Denver or Berkeley.
Oh,
Sorry.
like,
I'm not over it yet. Not Denver.
50%
I've never been.
of gay guys from Westchester all moved to Denver.
Yeah, they literally all moved to Denver.
wow.
I know. This is my
Gay flight to Denver. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, whoa.
I know. It's so crazy. Whatever. And what about your graduating class?
I ran into a girl who knew me in high school on the L train, and she was like, "Wow, you haven't changed a bit."
That's so mean.
Like, how dare she?
I was like, "Okay, what the hell?"
Well, in my opinion, Amelia has one of those faces where she looked older in high school than she does now, just by the way she chose to cut her hair and do her makeup every day. Do you know girls like this? Like they dress in a really mature way in high school, and like they do their makeup in such like a heavy-handed way that they all look like secretaries. And not in a
I
derogatory
grew up in
way,
like
and not
Christian Texas, dressing
Okay.
business casual and doing like a full beat every day.
Wow.
So now that I'm in a full beat right now. I'm in liquid eyeliner, so I'm not beating the allegations.
No,
But I
it's
feel
the
like
way
I
you
look at
did your
photos of me.
makeup.
Yeah, when I was 16, I looked 30, and now I
Mhm.
look maybe even 25. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. But
But going back to the vamoose thing,
yeah,
I feel like vamoose was like pretty like it was pretty classy. Like it wasn't
It is. It's
that.
better.
Yeah, I never like saw anyone that I was like I'm scared.
Well, it's because
Yeah.
I went took to Peter Pan. I used to go to college in DC for a little, and I one time took to Peter Pan back from DC, even though I took to Vamoose from New York to DC. A much scarier, horrifying. It was very close. Like there was fish. I remember I was sitting
It
next
was
to this.
fish.
wait, what's the Peter Pan? What's going on?
Peter Pan is like a different. What are those buses called? The big buses.
Like the bus company.
Coach bus. It's one of the
Yeah.
big coach bus companies. Peter
and there
Pan.
was fish. Oh, in that
in the
fish
sea.
would fall on.
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. I remember.
And fish would fall on you. Normal experience.
Oh, of course. Duh.
Well, like I remember this guy. He literally shaved his whole mustache off during a ride. I was-
What? Like,
I'm obsessed.
No mirror. It was like really a beautiful task.
I'm obsessed with the raccoon in this episode and also the live chicken. I was like, they were having fun. Props department was going nuts.
Prop department going nuts.
the guy clipping his toenails, I was like, I would leave. I can't handle feet like that. I'm like,
that's the final straw.
yeah, pour the fish on me, but keep those toenails away.
I love the man
That's
in a
so
suit
funny.
being sat on by another man in the suit, both just like disassociated.
Well, there's other seats on the bus
Yeah.
too. I love that.
Oh,
That's so funny.
gosh.
I'm just looking at the notes
Yeah,
really quickly.
transit. It's amazing.
Transit's amazing.
Grand Central. I love Lincoln. Like they're racing to get to Penn Station, and Lincoln's like, I've got to take in the majesty of Grand Central.
I remember like laughing my ass off when I first saw that scene, just because I'm like, it's so true.
It's so
Yeah.
true.
I'm like, why is it so beautiful in here?
Well,
It really is
Penn
stunning.
Station used to look like that, not to bring back to Penn Station. Penn Station used to have a giant glass ceiling on it, but they're like, what if we built a giant ugly building on top of it and
Are you
destroyed the glass
serious?
ceiling? So they brought down like the whole thing. But it used to be a beautiful place that if Lincoln was to go there, he would have taken a second to breathe it all in.
Well.
But now it's not so the case. But there's so many beautiful parts. Do you guys know? I can just drop 2 facts I know about Grand Central, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
it.
History hour.
If you go to Grand Central, there used to be smoking allowed inside Grand Central. So in one corner, I can't tell you which one, but I do think it's the northwest corner. There's one square where it's still completely black to like show how bad smoking used to be inside Grand Central. 'Cause there's so much soot inside of there that
Did
they
you
covered
learn
the whole
this from
ceiling.
a girl on TikTok about a week and a half ago?
No, I've known it for years.
Oh, I just found out from that girl. She told me. And everybody in the comment section was like, that is an awesome fact.
It is.
Yeah,
They built that place like Hogwarts.
they did.
Yeah. It
say
is just a lot
that.
of like Do you know about the Whispering Wall there?
No, that sounds scary.
That's a fun. Yeah, it's scary in its way because tourists love it. But there's one room there where if you go to one corner of the room and you whisper anything, the way it's constructed, it will go to the other side of the room. So you don't have to project your voice at all. Like it just carries through.
Why do they design it like that? For what purpose?
Well, people were really bored back in the day.
You're like, let's add some stimulation to this room while we all wait for our trains.
Why would they do that?
I know. But it is a magical place. There's a light show. Do you guys know there's a light show inside Grand Central?
No.
What?
So if you look at the ceiling where it's all the constellations, there's lights in all the constellations. So one time during a day, and I think it's at 8 p.m., all the lights go off. And there's a light show.
I'm putting this episode in the history section of
Yeah.
the Apple podcast.
Sorry. Why do we know? I was like, I have to get these facts out. I've been holding on
I
for
know, but they're
years.
really cool.
I think people are gonna love to hear them.
Uh-huh.
They are.
I save about 8 more.
Get into it,
Yeah,
girl.
keep going.
There's a tennis court inside Grand Central as
You're
well.
a joke. Actually, wait. I feel like
Did
I
you
do
know
know
this
that.
one? Yeah,
Well,
there's
because
two
I was
tennis
looking
courts.
at, because I was like really into challengers, but like I
The
did.
Zendaya movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
it's about
I-
tennis, yeah.
Yes, and technically I was into tennis beforehand because I was taking tennis lessons a year before.
Oh,
But like,
really?
Period.
I gave it up because I couldn't find anyone to play tennis with. And it's like one of those things that you need someone else.
There's gotta be someone out there that wants to play tennis with you.
I don't know. I couldn't find them. But
There's,
then
like,
when the
Facebook
movie,
groups.
okay. Well, do I look like I'm on Facebook? And then I tried like when Challengers was coming out, I was like poaching around my friends, being like, "So, like, how do you feel about tennis now?" And
Wait,
then
play
I was looking at
tennis.
a court. What?
I play, and I would play.
Okay, but I'm not good. So like, I
I'm
have to
not
find someone
either.
on my level. Okay.
And Cooper Park actually has free courts.
Oh wow. Okay.
Sorry, but don't keep that because that should be for us.
Yeah, that's
we
gay
don't want that
caps.
out.
Okay, cut
And
that.
then last fact about Grand Central. Grand Central is the place that sells the most oysters every year in the country.
You're lying.
That
Who
restaurant.
was eating? Like, who's eating the oysters there?
It's a destination for oysters. Can you imagine?
I can't
Do people like
imagine.
travel into Grand Station like
For
for
the oysters, and yes, you would be correct.
Wow.
And it's on the second level. There's an oyster restaurant, and it's a place that sells the most oysters every year.
Do they just do oysters?
I guess they have a more expansive menu, but like, who the fuck would go there for the more expensive menu?
Well, who will go there for oyster?
Well, Ilana does say the funny line where it's like Penn Station actually has amazing sushi.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust that
No, not
line,
at all.
honestly.
But it's a funny
Especially
line.
since we find out later that Ilana's deeply allergic to sushi. Not to be trusted, that girl.
She's like, I can eat the sushi there. What does that tell you?
Yeah. I do love in this episode the guy that lasts for 4 minutes, Abby's new love interest. I love that they give Abby like a hot, cool
Oh, he's
guy
so hot.
that immediately is like, I gotta go.
It's like, I can't take Penn Station. That's a deal breaker.
She's getting in the car like, I was just broken up with.
I love like how whenever someone drops out, like no one in the rest of the group like acknowledges it.
When the poor guy gets doored and flies off his bike and Abby's like, I'm so free, fuck Solstice. Hello, New York. I'm like, oh my God, your friend just died.
Oh my god. That poor
But-
gay guy. He went through so much.
It's because he wasn't part of the trifecta. She didn't care.
Yeah, literally.
Well, we just go through all of his amazing moments in this whole episode. First off, he is completely upset in the beginning because he's scared he's going to sweat his concealer off. That's so fun. Thank God. He's the
Love.
first gay guy on TV to openly wear makeup, I think.
I love the makeup department being able to like show the like more
The melting makeup.
Yeah. Or like the line at that one point. I was like, yes.
I feel so seen.
Oh my
She's
god.
like, does anybody need blotching sheets?
Yeah, right. Well, I think it's a real archetype of a gay guy we don't necessarily see as much anymore. Because I remember blotching sheets be the story of every single gay guy I went to college with in DC. They always had a blotching
Really?
sheet in their back pocket. And I think we're not in like, I don't know. Are you guys still using blotching sheets? I'm feeling.
I have dry skin, so that was never mine.
No.
I don't. I remember my stepmom would use them when we were at soccer practice waiting for my brothers to be done with soccer. And I'd always be like, can I have one? And I'd be so jealous because she has oily skin, but I didn't. So I would use the blotching sheet and nothing would happen to it. And I was like, this sucks.
You know, it's fun for it to go translucent. It's one of the best
Yeah.
parts ever.
Yeah.
Wait, but guys, have you ever like blotted a cheese pizza with a napkin?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
wait.
Because I feel like that's like what I was losing, the satisfaction of blotting my skin. In elementary school, we had this really like gross oily pizza. I remember my friend being like, watch. And then she like put a napkin on it and it was like completely drenched. Watch.
That's cool.
Oh my god. And
Yeah, I mean that's what I like wanted the pizza thing to happen to my face, and then it wouldn't. And I was like, okay, being 8 sucks. I can't wait to grow up and suffer with oily skin.
Right.
Like a real woman.
The pizza
where-
thing is so funny.
Where do I love the conversation he has with Lincoln in the car. What is it though?
Was it
The
wasn't it
gay
the
one.
teeth thing? Oh.
Oh, about the teeth. Yeah. He's like, I need them to hold them up.
He was like, I've never heard of that and I'm a dentist. He was like, got it from Nicaragua.
He was like, they treat you so well there.
Yeah, it's well, I like I think it's so fast, the dialogue in this show. I loved like the cutting between like them being in the back of the truck, like talking about like how big her brother's penis is. So them being like, and I'm not gonna get married until everyone can get married. He's like, why are you looking at me? He's like, because you're gay. He goes, oh right, that's actually the reason why. I thought it's just so funny because it's like, well, we're actually gonna go back to the reality soon where that gay guy, Lincoln's gonna have to wait to get married, unfortunately.
Oh,
Because,
yeah. When he's like,
Project
I'm not getting
2025.
married till we can all get married. Didn't Ellen do that? No, somebody went on Ellen and did
Yeah.
that. And she was already married.
And by the way, Ellen couldn't get married, so in a way, yeah.
No, Ellen had already been married to Portia.
Oh, wait, I actually think you're right.
Yeah.
I missed
no.
this like Ellen lore.
No, Ellen didn't get married until everyone could get married. No, you're right.
Well, of course Ellen didn't get married till everybody could get married.
No, it was legalized in California, but she's like, I'm not going to get married until it's legalized at a national level.
I think it was actually Kristen Bell.
Wait, what? Kristen
think-
Bell can get married?
I think Kristen Bell. I think Ellen had gotten married in the state of California to Portia, and Kristen Bell went on the show and was like, "Me and Dax haven't got married because we don't want to get married until everyone can get married." And Ellen was like, "Totally."
Oh my god, it's like the only nice thing Dax Shepard's ever done for anyone.
Hey, I loved him on Parenthood. he made that show for me. Have you seen that show?
No, and I don't even know anything
I
about
don't know
Dax
anything
Shepard other
about
than
it.
like he's married to Kristen, or I guess not married.
Well, they are now, but
Okay.
I guess they're gonna have to get divorced
Not
soon.
Like, except for the fact that he's not married to Kristen Bell. Wait, okay, real question. How close are you guys with your friends from college now?
Right, exactly. So all my college friends live in Madrid for some reason.
What?
What?
You're like, my high school friends moved to Denver and my
my
college
fa-
friends moved
No,
to
I
Madrid.
What's everyone else from my college moved to New York? Like
It's so funny that you're the last person standing from
I know.
Westchester County.
It's so funny. I don't understand how it happened, but like every single person from my college moved to New York, like it's the most popular state for my college, except for my friends who all stayed in New Orleans or went to Madrid. I feel so
Well,
low.
where did you go to school?
I went to school first in Canada and then in Australia.
Oh my god, what?
Abby, Canada?
Yeah, I went to McGill
Oh
for
my
like
gosh.
2 years, like had like an existential crisis and then moved to Australia to finish my college in Melbourne or Melbourne. But
Oh
I was
my
like bullied
God.
Wait,
into
what is
saying
the way
it
you
Melbourne.
say it? Is it Melbourne's correct?
Well, it's Melbourne with an Australian accent.
So if I said it, it would count.
No, because I kept being like Melbourne, and then like people would be like, "What is that?" Like,
Oh my god, why are they taking that tone with you? I feel like you were.
I'm like, I'm an immigrant.
That's so funny.
Okay, so you probably don't see your college people that much because they live in Canada and Australia.
Yeah, I like basically like I probably see my college like the last time I saw them was like in 2019. Like
Oh my god.
for most of them. 'Cause
2019.
It's such like a big journey from like Australia to America, and like I haven't even gone back since
Well, it's
I
literally
graduated.
so many hours.
Yeah.
And you're
Say
going
that,
by,
girl.
and you're going by the quickest mode of
Speak
transportation we
that. Clap that
have.
to you.
Is it
It's-
24 hours by flight?
It's
that
like
number so
it
crazy?
depends. So the first time I flew there, I flew the long way across like the Europe
Right.
because
Right.
I couldn't find a cheaper flight because like I was told I got into the school like literally 3 weeks before school started.
Oh my god.
And I was like, okay, that's fine. You're supposed to book your flights like 5 weeks in advance, but that's so fine. And that took 13 hours
Oh my God.
to, I think it was like Qatar that I landed in. And then like another 13 hours after that, plus like the layover was like 6 hours.
Oh my gosh.
But then coming back, it was, I think, 17 hours to LAX and then a layover in
God.
LAX and then.
Oh my gosh.
I hate all those numbers.
I know.
How do you
I
sit
was
on a
like,
plane for that long?
I don't know. Like, it's been
lot
a
of
long time
pain.
since I did it.
But yeah, I don't talk to anybody really from college because they all live in Canada still.
Mm.
So I don't really
Well, I'm
see
glad
them.
we have each other. 'cause-
But I do feel like you meet somebody here and it's we've kind of talked about this before where it's like Broad City, they met because of New York City, whereas all the characters and girls kind of met at Oberlin and now they're like in the playground of New York City. But we feel like they're gonna leave, whereas like these girls feel like New York through and through.
Yeah, it's so true. Well, and that's why it's like so shocking when Morgan reveals to Abby, it's like, we stayed in our friend's timeshare in the Hamptons and we were really close then. And the thing is like your friends in New York actually don't know about your college self.
They
And
don't
that's-
know about your past. Like
they don't know about your past.
Ilana absolutely did not know Abby's made out with a girl. And she's upset. The way she hyperventilates into a paper bag is
I was
so-
like, girl, you're doing too much. Like, when I was like watching that, I was like, I kind of forgot like how crazy Ilana is like towards Abby.
Yeah.
And it is like played off for humor. But I was just like, oh my God. Like if I had a friend like do this to me, I'd be like, I'm the one sitting at the front of the bus and you're sitting in the back with a fish.
Yeah.
Like,
Abby's so like, I'm sorry, I don't want to fuck you, Ilana. Instead of being like, Ilana, stop being crazy towards me.
That's so funny.
But I do love it's so funny because Darcy and Abby make out in Abby's new show. They're literally a couple in A League of Their Own on Prime. So this is like so it predicted it all.
yeah.
wow. People were like, we actually want to see that. Like,
yeah.
rewind the tape.
We're like, wait, have them do that. But I do love we're on episode 8 and we're 8 for 8 on Ilana trying to fuck Abby in every episode. 8 for 8. We'll see how long it goes. I feel like they get over it by season 4, but
Do you think that like, okay, do you feel like it was like an actually like healthy type of friendship dynamic for like to be best friends with someone who you know is like really attracted to you?
I feel like no. I feel like
No.
it's gotta stop. There needs to be. Did they have boundaries back then?
No, those
Did
are
they have
new.
boundaries back in 2014?
Did they have those?
That was
yet?
Biden era. We
Okay,
got
yeah,
those.
yeah. Right, self-care didn't really
Right.
happen just yet. So I guess it was fine for the time. But now if they made this show today, I feel like it wouldn't be a thing. Well, also I feel like Abby would just like hook up with her once.
I feel like Abby, they would be like a whole like therapy speak episode that would be like making fun of the fact that like Abby would be like, well, can you like actually like not do this to me right now?
That is so yeah.
Well, I think if it was a male-female relationship, they would have never been able to write that storyline. But because it's female-female, it's like the borders are always so much like looser. People are like, when you're a lesbian, it's like your best friend is also your girlfriend, and it's like, well, that's actually not the same conversation. But I do think because it's a gay relationship, it's not taken as seriously and can be played for laughs in a lot stronger of a way than if it was a traditional hetero relationship.
I also
Totally.
think like Ilana is like kind of guarded by the fact that she's like constantly with Lincoln. So it's like, oh, like maybe this is just like a really crazy joke. And it's like not like
Right.
she's like actually like that serious and like trying to pursue Abby in any kind of way. I don't know. It's very
No,
complex.
I think you're right.
I think it since it's episodic, we're like, that's just her silly thing. If it was like serialized, we'd be like, girl, this is these are stacking up.
Well, they play bi for laughs so hard in this because there's a scene at the end where they go to the gentleman's club.
Oh
And,
yeah.
while they're in their tuxes, and you're like, oh my God, they changed the flooring here. It's so different than last time I was at the gentleman's club. And Abby's like, what are you talking about, Ilana? Where it's like, the fact that she's being bi is one of the biggest gags they have throughout the whole series.
Yeah, that's so true.
I guess being bi is funny in 2014.
And today, I think it's hilarious.
Yes, today.
It's a great conversation.
Keep it going.
going.
But I do feel like it's cool that they have a fight and get over it.
Yeah, they do it every episode, it seems.
Well, they never like really properly address like the fight. Like it's kind of just like Abby conceding to Ilana being like a little like too
Well,
much.
This is what I've been like. Now that we're 8 episodes in, I'm starting to feel like Ilana needs somebody to hold her accountable because the way she treats Lincoln is
know.
also adding up. Like I'm like, this girl gets away with a lot. Meanwhile, all the other characters in the show don't get away with anything. Like, I feel like Abby's always down bad and Ilana is always staying slaying.
Staying slaying.
Like, Chris Gethard can't get her ass. Like, Nicole is like, has so many voice notes that are mad at Ilana and she's still being paid to do not her job.
Yeah, there's something when you're 22 that they let you get away with so much.
Yeah.
It really is so true.
But it would be kind of like a depressing show if they were both like down bad constantly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like what's lighthearted about it is like Ilana technically is down bad on paper, but like she has such like a devil may care attitude that you're like, okay, like it's not that bad.
It is so fun that they almost never reach their goal by the end of the episode, but they're still in a good mood. Like, they absolutely did not get to the open bar at the wedding. They're going to an expensive gentleman's club.
Also, like, why did no one go to Darcy's wedding?
I
When they
know.
show the
Oh my
empty, what's it called?
Chapel?
Chapel?
Yeah.
Either one. Whatever you want.
And she's like, whatever,
Dealer's
let's
choice.
just do this.
I know, that is a funny gag. Well, I guess like this, and then we were talking about destination weddings a second ago. It's like before they used to be such a novelty and people wouldn't show up to them. I had a destination bar mitzvah and it was canceled by a hurricane.
You had a destination
The
bar mitzvah? Whoa. Wait, where was
Sorry.
Can you
it?
imagine this is the third time Evan's brought it up this week?
It's still like actually hard and traumatizing for me.
Wait, but like how far away was it?
In Newport, Rhode Island. It's the closest thing I have to a destination wedding going wrong.
So do you have like a bus to take your friends, or like how do you expect people to get there?
Right, and I just was like, I put it on the families that were involved in the project.
You're like, I was 13. I don't know how anyone got there.
Well, but now they are the norm. I mean, we were talking about it a second ago, but it's like a destination wedding is. Someone told me this recently. It's 1/3 of the price for the people putting it on than having it in New York. Literally 1/3. That's why everyone has it in Mexico or Scotland, like we were saying.
I
How
also
did it
feel like
happen?
in a way it's kind of like a way to like cull your
Yeah.
guest list, because like I don't know, my friends who are in the midst of like planning their weddings, like they all have to give like these like courtesy invites to like certain members of the family they don't actually want there, or like certain friends that they're kind of like we're not that close to, but they invited us to like their wedding. And I feel like when you make it a destination wedding, it's kind of more difficult, and
Right.
it's only people who like either like genuinely like love you, or like who have the privilege of like having the time and money that are going to end up going.
Mhm.
And then that's also more cost effective,
That
because
is
like
such a good point.
you could invite 300 people, but then only 50 people are gonna come.
Yeah, it's an amazing life hack, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like, well, you didn't want grandma to come? Too bad she can't get on the plane like that. It's great.
Like- and then you have like an amazing like beachfront wedding that's like so Instagrammable. And,
Yeah.
like,
Oh my God,
it's
you're so
perfect.
right. Because I have this family friend and she's having her wedding a week after New Year's in Mexico. And it's like, well, of course, no one can go to that. If you're going to go away, you're going to go away during New Year's. That's school break. It's like, no one's going to go to Mexico the week after New Year's. She's going to have 17 people at the wedding.
That's a perfect amount.
That's a perfect
that's a
amount. I
perfect
know.
amount.
Yeah,
You can get
isn't
like
it?
3 Uber XLs and call it a night. Easy. Wait, sorry. No, go ahead.
Oh, like just like going by like guest count too. I don't know if like your feelings about birthday parties and stuff, but I feel like when I like invite so many people, like, which is not, I don't know, like I think 30 is a large amount of people. I'm not saying like, oh my God, I have like 500 friends, but like I get overwhelmed by having to like make time to talk to every single person.
Right.
Oh, you're
And
so
I'm actually
good.
like, I honestly would rather 10 people go to my wedding so that I don't have to like think about it too much.
Right. So the event could be for you instead of for
Yeah.
you talking to people.
Yeah.
Well, most of a wedding is the groom and the other person talking to guests the whole time. That's
Yeah,
one of
they're
the
like
only things my
hopping
parents
around
remember.
tables like during
Yeah,
dinner. Like, do
literally.
they even
need
get to
be
eat?
on Adderall.
Yeah, you have to take an upper for a wedding.
I'd be
take poppers.
Kevin. I'd be Kevin. My makeup would be melting. I'd be sniffing poppers.
Well, every single year for my birthday, and this is of course by accident. 2 years ago, I accidentally put my party full invite on my main story instead of my close friends. So I didn't notice for 2 hours, and so many people I'd never met before kind of came to my apartment, which was so exciting. A guy with a drone and a magic cap came, that's actually what I wanted for my birthday. And then this year, I didn't mean to, but anytime you're invited to a party on Partyful, the app, it adds them to like your list of friends. And just for mutual connections, I had 400 people on there, and I pressed invite all. I'd not realizing it was 400. I invited 400 people. Now they all know my location at my house.
Wow.
beautiful.
We
Don't-
really let people know our address.
It's
No
so-
problem. We're just sending it out. Any brands like, can we send you stuff? And it's like, here's where you can find us.
Like, and here's also my social security if you need it.
Yeah. I'm like, here's my routing number. Routing? Whatever.
Yeah.
We've got to cut to our second break, but when we get back, when we get back, we'll finish up the episode.
Oh, and we're back. Oh my god. That was a long time.
I know.
I have another question for you.
Mina,
Yes.
what is your Broad City moment?
Oh my God. Okay. I was really thinking about this because I feel like I've thankfully like reached a more stable point in my life, like as I've gotten older. But I think the first year that I lived here was when all the chaos happened and also when I was watching Broad City at the same time. I don't know. Okay. So I feel like everyone who's like ever first moved to New York without like a large cushion has had a really busted roommate story.
For sure.
And one of the things that I really held on to in watching Broad City was Abby's relationship with Bevers. Like, because he was so, I mean, obviously, like, Bevers, he becomes, like, an iconic character. People do grow to love him. But just, like, the introduction of just, like, his presence and taking up so much of, like, the apartment, and he doesn't even pay rent there because he's like Abby's
Dating
roommate,
that girl, yeah.
the boyfriend. And I had this like really busted roommate situation when I first moved here, and it was a random roommate situation because I
Did
didn't
you
know
find them on
anyone.
like Facebook?
I found them on like I can't even remember. It was some like weird app that was
Oh my
specifically
gosh.
for like finding roommates.
Oh,
I
Room
can't-
Star or something?
Yeah, like Roomie or like something
Room Star
like
is the name.
crazy.
It's so brave to move here with a stranger.
Well, I was so desperate because I was like, I cannot be in Maryland like any longer.
Right.
I was like, get me out. And I was like, anything could be better. I was so wrong. But okay, the whole roommate thing, like so many things happen, but there was this one point when I was just like being at home and then some man like opens the door and walks in
God.
and I was like, what that like I was like, who are you? And he was like, oh, like didn't so and so my roommate tell you like I'm like her friend, like I'm staying with you guys. And I was like, what? She did not say
Oh my
anything.
god.
He stayed there for like over a month,
No.
living on the couch and just like,
She didn't tell you?
no.
What kind of man was he?
He was like 6 foot tall from like Iowa.
Oh my god.
And like
What kind of man was he?
and he just like
Iowan.
he was also an only child. And like this was like a conversation I had with like my other roommate who also was not made privy to this information. We were like, he's such an only child because I'm not naming names because I'm trying to be classy. my roommate who was like associated with this man, she had an ensuite bathroom. But instead of using her bathroom, he would use the bathroom that I shared with the other girl.
Oh my god.
And not
jail
to be
time.
jail time, and not to be so gross, but he would take like the biggest
No.
biggest poops, would not flush the toilet, and I would just like walk in there and like like what is
Oh my
What
god.
the hell?
I know. And then like one time he threw out my he threw out my contact lenses to use my contact lens case to put his contacts in. And the way that I found out was I put the contacts in my eyes the next morning and I'm like, why can't I see anything? And then I see these
Mina,
like little contacts
no.
like in the sink. And and they were still like as moist from the sink water. So I was like, let me just see something. And I was like, those
Oh
are my contacts
my
that were in the
God.
sink. Because then I was like, oh my God, I can see. And I'm like, now I'm like really grossed out that I put someone else's contacts in my eyes.
Oh my
I'm
god.
Wait, so
And he wasn't even funny or a good time. Like he was so much worse than Bevers.
How did you get rid of him?
He found a place miraculously.
Thank God.
Thank God. But one time also, sorry, another
No,
thing.
please.
He invited a girl back home to my home to hook up with in his couch living room situation. And
oh,
I was
wait,
like,
so they weren't even dating; they were just friends.
no, they were just friends.
Oh my god.
And like, I was like, you're kidding me. And we had rooftop access. So he would like, go up and down like whatever, doing whatever God knows on the roof. And I had a cat, and my cat escaped while he left the door open. And thankfully, my cat hadn't escaped from the building.
Oh my God.
But I was literally like starting to see red, where I was like, like on the day of my cat's birthday, like you bring home this lady and then you leave the door open to the roof.
Oh my God.
I can't
know.
believe
That's
he's
so nefarious.
real.
He's an evil actor.
Do you know what he's up to now?
I have no idea.
Thank God you're free. Thank
I'm
God you're
so
free.
free.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why does that always happen? That happened to me in college too. It's like people don't ever ask and they just let someone sleep on a couch.
Yeah.
And this was during COVID.
This was like several months before COVID.
Oh my
Imagine if
God.
it was COVID, I'd actually like start shooting.
He's
Actually, I
in
can't
your
say
pod.
that. Like, I'd actually start bleep, bleep, bleep.
Yeah, it's so I feel like though having a terrible roommate situation is really good for driving your career.
It builds character.
Because you're like, I don't want to be this girl. This is not who I am. I will fight to build a better life for
Well, I think it
myself.
helps with
I will
communication
fight to pay rent in
skills.
another place.
Yes. That's how I feel. I'm like, I'm going to get employed and I'm going to leave this weird apartment. Me in LA being like, I'm paying for a studio even though I don't have a job.
Wait, you lived in LA?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you have a Broad City moment this week?
Um,
Well, we all do.
I
but
love
we
how you
can't
say
talk about
this
it.
week because it's like every week there's a Broad City moment. What are you guys going through?
by the way,
Oh, yeah. It feels like it.
well, the bar below me is shooting something. They've been shooting something all week, and every time I leave my apartment, a bunch of actors are in Halloween costumes, and I keep staring at them so much, and they keep staring back. And that's not really a good story, but
Halloween costumes?
Lisa Traeger was on the street.
Do we
Task
know
us
what
at the
show
pod.
this is?
I don't know what show it is, but I was like, is that Lisa Traeger? She was a guest like a year ago on our podcast. I was like, why are you in a cat suit?
Did you talk to her?
No, because they were talking in a way where I'm like, this is actually technically like I shouldn't be allowed in the studio.
Like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like if I like make myself known, I'll have to sign an NDA.
Literally, because there's like craft and there's like the whole team, and I think they only let me walk through there because it is my home. But I'm like, oh, I'm like breaking and entering. I can't talk to the cast. It's my house. I just feel like they're judging me because I keep like carrying my Newly box and like coming back with Nerds clusters or like leaving to get like a coffee
How many
that's a
times do you get
slushie.
Nerds clusters?
Just it's been twice this week, and they were both out there.
They're
both
keeping
times.
notes.
I'm like, do they recognize this girl who keeps buying
They
candy?
don't recognize the outfit. They recognize the candy in the hand, girl.
Did you have a Broad City moment?
I was trying to think
Trump
about it. but
becoming
it's like,
president was
yeah,
very
that's-
season 4.
It felt like that was like the premise of half of the season. It's like actually the premise of half the show is Trump being president. So it's so cool to be back there.
Yeah.
I will say this isn't really a Broad City moment, but like I've been to a few comedy shows this week, and people are very excited to be in a comedy venue. People are just wanting to laugh. Like they don't want to hear about politics. They just like want to have a.
Maybe
form
you're
of
just so
escapism.
funny. Have you ever thought about that?
I wasn't performing.
Wait, okay,
Oh.
yes. Charmer over here.
It's definitely not that one. But people are like, you can sense it like because it's so tense outside. People are looking for like moments of joy in a real way. that
Did
we
you
didn't have
feel
to.
like the comedians were like funny enough to be getting these laughs, or like were people just
Yeah.
like they were just trying to laugh to like get through tears?
Well, I've heard the same set told in a different room, and it hasn't done so well. But I heard, even if they are really funny, but like people are just really wanting to laugh. Like people are really on everyone's side right now. It feels like like
Sometimes you sit in an audience and
Yeah.
you can tell the audience is like being a little bit like,
coy.
you better bring it.
Yeah.
Whereas like
Sorry,
this
that's
one,
me.
it's like,
I'm like on America's Next, like whatever, like what's that show? X
American-
Factor.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like,
I'm not turning around. Well, you shouldn't laugh if it's not funny.
Oh no.
But I try to.
Oh, that's beautiful, girl.
Yeah.
well, I'll sit in the back, so I'm like, I'm not like bringing any bad juju.
This
But
is
I'm
my
like-
problem is like they need people to sit in the front, so I sit in the front, and then this is me the whole show. And they're like, well, that didn't help.
And then you get picked on.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, girl in the red over here, not laughing.
And I'm like,
Oh,
I'm
you noticed
trying my
that too?
best.
You didn't laugh one time this whole damn episode.
I feel like this has been a giggly episode,
No,
actually.
we've been laughing. We've been having
I
fun.
hope people like the sound of our laughs. Otherwise,
They're like, ew, I got the egg.
wait, we got to do our last segment.
Do we have to?
Yeah, we have to.
Wait, can we talk about girls in blazers really quickly?
Girls in blazers.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Abbi and Ilana dressing in blazers.
Yeah, don't you think it's really hot when a girl wears a suit?
Oh, for the
you
wedding?
wanted to going in, right?
Wait. Abbi wears a blazer
At the
beginning?
end.
So
Oh, at the end.
For- They
Abbi
gotta
gets the
download
fish on
club.
her, and then she wears Lincoln's blazer that
Right.
he stripped himself of and put in Ilana's backpack while he was driving the truck.
Yeah, how did that go? Like, how did that, what was the procedure for that?
I know. I'm like, how did we actually get there?
He was like stripping before driving too, or like
He's really talented.
I also love that. So they're riding in the back of the moving truck, and Abbi is truly like
Strapped in.
X-factored herself
X-factored
to the
in.
wall. And then the other two girls are truly just like free bleeding.
I was definitely like Morgan in that situation. I would be running back and forth. Like
that character actress is incredible. She's done Netflix The Characters. She has like her own episode.
Oh, she does.
But she was cracking me up. I wonder if any of the lines were improvised.
I feel like a lot of this, it feels very improvised. This is one of the episode before. This is where they get locked in the apartment. Like they have to like navigate a shit out of there, which is like, that's not funny. This is so much funnier. This show really has like an 85% success rate. I'm noticing.
I also think like the pacing of it is really
So
good because
good.
it's like
It's so
you're
fast.
just like laughing, but then like something else is like happening, and it doesn't
Yeah.
like there's like no air where you can like be like, oh wait, that was a weird joke.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like Morgan says something crazy, but then we've cut to the next
We're like
scene.
we're keeping it pushing.
Also, I love the instrumental music they play for this
Oh, yeah.
episode. Whoever's the music, the sound scorist, what do you call it? Great work.
Sound chorus. It's female. Well,
Okay.
you do notice in the first
Yeah, wait,
season
what-
that they don't really have a budget for music in the same way they do in the latter seasons. Like all the
Well,
songs are instrumental.
If there's one thing we've learned from this show and Girls is that HBO has a different budget.
They had so much. They were playing Beyonce every other episode in that show. And Girls, they're only playing instrumental tracks here.
Let's say that.
I know.
Wait, what about the blazers? Did you finish the
Oh,
statement?
yes, you're so right.
Right, wait.
Fine. Well, it's hot when a girl wears a blazer. Okay, now time for the
All the build up to that. True.
Do you like blazers?
I do, but I think it's really hard to find like one that like is super flattering in the way
Yeah.
that it fits. I also am like the type of person where I'm like the blazer has to match the pants. Like I don't
Yes.
like it's very I guess 2010s, which I guess is the decade that we're in, to wear like a random blazer with like jeans. Or
I hate
something.
that.
Right.
Well, actually, maybe I do like it. Wait, let me think about it. No, I don't like that.
It has to be coordinated in some way. Like it doesn't have to be
Uh-huh.
like super matchy. But I think like when I think of 2010s fashion, sometimes I'm thinking of like the business casual
Yes.
club attire where it was like, we're just gonna throw a black blazer on everything.
Yeah. Which we're bringing back.
I like the oversized blazer look, you mean? Like, is it King
What's
Kylie?
that? What's the girl thing now?
King Kylie. Well, I heard there's like a phrase where it's like blazer pause or something. Have you heard that?
No, wait,
No.
what?
When it's like where you wear an oversized blazer, but then the arm is like actually like way longer than where your arms are. And so they're kind of like hanging off of you like this.
Oh, it's kind of Ariana Grande Blazer edition.
I guess. Yeah.
That's
Or
a good
it's
way to
just the
describe it.
nails. Don't nobody look at my nails.
There's a
They're
donut
really
in there.
bad.
She's looking. Oh, I love that
Um,
girl, actually. Well,
no.
she's had a real cultural renaissance.
I,
Okay.
I like when Abbi puts on a blazer because I hated her dress.
Well, she puts on a lot of blazers in this show.
She does when
Uh-huh,
she's Val.
When she's Val.
Anyways.
But yeah. Well, oh, yeah. I guess.
Costume analysis over.
No, wait, you're a fashion girl. Do you have any closing thoughts on the fashion in this episode?
It's so bad, isn't
It's
it?
so bad.
It's really bad.
It
But
is
also, wait, Morgan's dress that's like kind of off white, like wearing that to a wedding. I was like,
That's
I don't know
a really
about
good
that.
no. Oh my God, you're so
and
right.
he would.
He,
Morgan.
the girl.
The girl.
Oh fuck. I'm trying to be pronoun inclusive. Is actually what's going on.
We don't know enough information about Morgan,
Right, you're
so,
so right.
Morgan would wear off-white. She would.
She transitions stuff so she can get married before the age of 25.
that wedding was really her wedding, like in her
Yeah.
mind.
Girl, get your Glock. It's rapid fire time. We're going to ask you a series of rapid fire questions.
Wait, was this in the... this is not in the little prompts that you guys gave me.
Don't think twice, don't overthink it. It's super lighthearted, although our last guest asked us to cut half the questions we asked. Are you a schoolgirl or are you getting schooled, girl?
A schoolgirl.
How are you?
Good. Okay, better now.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, or Rihanna?
Ooh.
Oh. Well, Rihanna, because recycling is fake in America, but otherwise I would say recycling if it was real.
Yes.
Who would you rather go down on, Michael Bublé or Janet Jackson?
Janet Jackson.
What's your most essential? Gum, Adderall, or poppers?
Oh, gum.
Yeah.
Penn Station or Grand Central?
Grand Central.
Oh
I
my
think we
God.
know.
Yeah, come on.
Wait.
Especially with
Sorry
that
for
black
doing
smoking square like in the whisper room.
Now, would you rather have mouth scaffolding or adult braces?
Ooh.
Mouth scaffolding. Only from Nicaragua.
Yeah.
Why would Jesus give us a flat tire?
Because he didn't want you to go to that busted Long Island wedding, Connecticut wedding.
Do you have to respect the sanctity of the RSVP?
Yes, I always show up.
Really?
I do.
Oh, that's so good
I'm
of
just
you.
clicking. I'm clicking yes on Partyful like there's no tomorrow.
I know. I just want to get that number up.
Yeah.
Do you have a crush at weddings?
No. Do you crush at weddings?
No, I don't want to ask about that question.
Because Lincoln crushes at weddings. Do you?
Wait, what do you mean crushes? Like
Like-
breaks out
no,
moves?
dances.
Like, you're
Yeah, I
but-
do.
amazing. Yeah.
Well, only if I like am close to the couple. If I'm a +1, I don't do anything.
Yeah,
Because I
people
feel like
can't.
I'm invading a space.
Well, there's some
You're so
weddings you can't
respectful.
crush at. It's like inevitable or impossible. Either one works. Inevitably, you can't. It's impossible to crush at a wedding. Never mind. Are,
Last
are you
question.
over Amy Winehouse?
No.
No.
We'll never
How could you
be.
Forever, Amy.
Last words on the pod. Thank you so much for being here, girl. Oh, this was so fun.
This was so
I had such a good
Wait,
time.
I literally giggled my little heart
I
out.
know.
I giggled so much. I giggled more than I rewatched when I rewatched that episode.
Take that, Abby and Ilana. Wait, do you have anything exciting coming up that you want to plug?
No. I'm here for vibes only. That's how you know I'm real. I'm not here to promote. Other than I guess my YouTube channel and my socials and whatever.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
whatever,
sorry.
whatever.
Goodbye.
Thank you all so much for
This
tuning
is so
in.
fun.
We'll be back next week.
Make sure to subscribe to the Patreon and rate and review the episode on Apple and Spotify.
SEO reviews. I'm loving those. I'm loving the
I
words
brought
broad
cities.
and I'm loving the word city.
Thank
If
you
you want
so
to keep
much.
doing that, 5 stars, send it to your cousin. Love you. Bye.